It's not every indie game that gets the director's cut treatment, but it's even more rare when that director's cut releases less than a year after the original. Nikoderiko was met with sparse yet positive reviews when it debuted in 2024, but the developer's vision was not yet fully realized. Now, VEA Games are bringing us an updated version of their 3D platformer in the form of Nikoderiko: The Magical World Director's Cut, clearly inspired by the Donkey Kong Country series to the point of even featuring composer David Wise. This free update for those who already purchased the game features enhanced visuals, more levels, and other gameplay refinements to improve the player experience. But does Nikoderiko deliver a barrel-blasting good time, or is it living in the shadow of its predecessors? Let's find out in our full review. Real quick, you should blast on over to patreon.com/idreamofindiegames to gain Discord access to the greatest indie gaming community, enjoy early and ad-free shows, receive a shout out at the end of every video we produce, get our new podcast 3 days early, and so much more. But best of all, you'll be supporting indie visibility. Your new indie gaming community is waiting for you. Nikoderiko: The Magical World Director's Cut is indeed influenced by my favorite series, Donkey Kong Country, but these mongooses, or mongeese, neither of those sound correct somehow, aren't just inspired by DK and the crew, as the game also features characteristics of other classics like Crash Bandicoot and even Rayman. You'll blast from barrel to barrel, ride minecarts on rickety tracks, mount creatures for traversal across treacherous landscapes, and even partake in hidden bonus games. There's swimming, there's tire bouncing, and yes, there's even boss battles. Oh, and don't forget the tons and tons of secrets for you to discover, including a secret world to reveal. Nikoderiko offers both single-player and local co-op, with player 2 taking the reins of Luna. Nico and Luna are treasure collectors who seek a stolen artifact which is now in possession of the evil Baron Grimbald and his dastardly fork-tongued cohorts, the Cobrings. As one would expect, the story isn't all that deep, nor does it need to be. However, you can't say the developers aren't trying to give these characters and the world they inhabit a bit of personality. There's dialogue sections between levels that sometimes introduce additional non-playable characters, but none of them add very much to the overall experience. In fact, it's the design of the characters themselves that might be the weakest point of Nikoderiko. The enemies and supporting cast aren't particularly offensive on the eyes, but Nico and Luna look like furry reject versions of Crash and Coco. Yes, I know the Crash Bandicoot suit was frequently used in PlayStation commercials throughout the 90s, but I thought we had kind of moved past that. Besides, Crash and Coco were cute, and Nico and Luna, well, I don't want to be mean, but let's just say they have a certain uncanny factor about them that never quite sat right with me. Character design flaws aside, the game plays pretty damn good. Nico and Luna move smoothly through the game's 7 diverse worlds, seamlessly transitioning between 2D and 3D segments. One moment you'll feel like you're playing a classic Donkey Kong Country level, but turn a corner and you might find yourself in the infamous Sonic's ass view, which was made popular by the Crash Bandicoot series. The way in which the game transitions between these two styles is impressively fluid. Each world, all of which are broken up into levels, has its own theme and presents a unique challenge. Though, should that challenge be too much to handle, players have 3 different difficulty options to choose from. I didn't find the normal setting too taxing, but your mileage may vary depending upon your platforming experience. Both characters seem to control identically to each other, relying on their platforming skills, a parachute for gliding, a ground pound of swords, and a slide for both taking out enemies and accessing narrow passageways. These mongooses, geese, whatever, are good swimmers too, and those skills will be tested through the beautiful water levels. Levels in Nikoderiko tend to be quite long, some clocking in at upwards of 10 minutes or more. In fact, there's quite a bit of content here in totality. When factoring in the secret world, which requires keys to unlock all its levels, and finding all of the gameplay's many collectibles, 10 to 12 hours of gameplay isn't out of the question for you completionists out there. There's also gems to discover, fireflies to collect, and scroll bottles that unlock chests, which fill out a treasury of unlockables such as game art and music. Earning these treasures will involve exploring every nook and cranny of a level, while keys are earned through completing bonus stages. Naturally, the end of each world concludes in a sometimes multi-layered boss encounter. From a bumbling beaver to a disgruntled chef, each face-off was entertaining and unique, not offering much challenge, but let's be real, who loves repeating the same boss fight over and over again? Okay, maybe some of you actually do, but that's not usually my jam. As a co-op experience, Nikoderiko is somewhat successful. Both players move about the screen freely simultaneously, which can often lead to one player being left behind off screen. This is a bit frustrating, especially when playing with a less experienced player too, but thankfully a bubble will carry your lost character back towards the remaining player so that they can continue on. Co-op is also drop in and out, so if one player gives up or wants to join, it's easy enough to exit or enter. Despite its flaws, there is some fun to be had with two players as they can jump on one another's heads, and boss battles become even less challenging and daunting than before. Though I suppose that could also be viewed as a negative to some of you. I would have appreciated a tag option similar to the DKC games, but I commend the developers for at least featuring functional co-op. Fans of Donkey Kong Country surely have fond memories of characters such as Rambi the Rhino, Squawks the Parrot, and even Winky the Frog. And you'll be pleased to know that Nikoderiko keeps the tradition of riding animals through levels alive. Massive toads hop and spit venom, bats flounder wildly through the sky as you avoid obstacles, and a fire-breathing seahorse helps you navigate treacherous waters. Players can even purchase mounts on the overworld and summon them into levels at their leisure. As for what's new in the director's cut, it's really hard for me to say as I never played Nikoderiko when it first launched, and the developer's notes aren't all that descriptive. What I can say is that the game looks gorgeous. Each environment is bright and colorful, animations are beautiful, and a smooth 120 FPS at 4K resolution delivers a pleasing fluidity alongside eye-popping visuals. There is great attention to detail such as a ground pound affecting items in the backdrop, and the water levels simply have to be seen to be believed. The moody and evocative lighting makes me all the more sad that the main characters themselves are so, well, lacking. Backing the gorgeous visuals is another masterful set of compositions from the legendary David Wise himself. He delivers the same whimsical charm, delightful melodies, and sick riffs he's known for. David Wise simply does not miss. And if you need another example of that, just close your eyes and listen to this amazing soundtrack. It's good stuff. Voice performances were fine, though a bit unnecessary considering the story feels like an afterthought. Nikoderiko: The Magical World Director's Cut is a charming platformer that filled me with joy. While its odd lead character designs and lackluster story detracted ever so slightly from my overall enjoyment of the title, I also couldn't help but compare Nikoderiko to the titles and franchises it so earnestly tries to mimic. Even so, the game delivers what fans of the genre are looking for: great visuals and audio, smooth gameplay, and tons of hidden secrets and collectibles make this a worthy addition to your indie gaming library. And if you missed the game on the first go-around, which it seems like many of you did, this director's cut is the perfect excuse to dive in. You won't regret it. Here at I Dream of Indie Games, we have a lamp tiering system, with bronze, silver, and gold lamps representing good, great, and essential games respectively. We also have the Rusty Lantern for titles with a glimmer of hope, and the Indie Krampus for games that we don't want to talk about. In the case of Nikoderiko: The Magical World Director's Cut, I am awarding this title the Silver Genie Lamp of Approval.
For far too long, you, the gamer, have been denied honest gaming coverage. Indie developers and publishers have lost their voice, but no longer. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and head over to patreon.com/idreamofindiegames to join this epic campaign for indie visibility. The echo chamber trembles as our message grows louder. Voice to the voiceless!